Hello, good day, everyone. Welcome to Rants with Randy. My name is Randy Nicholson, coming to you from close to downtown Calgary. This is our first broadcast, so it's going to be a little rough, okay? So, anyways, we're here today to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, uh, Alberta, okay? First of all, I'll say, who am I? I'm a man of faith. Um, I ministered at the prisons for close to 10 years. I have a relationship with my Lord Jesus. That being said, um, we'd like to Alberta separation. Okay, so what's happening? Um, Alberta's been downtrodden by Eastern politics for since Pierre Elliott Trudeau, and it seems like since then they've had it in for the West. Like we're second class citizens somehow. You know, our representation is skewed. I mean, places down east have way less population and way more representation than we do. So what's going on here, boys? And nobody addresses the situation. It's like, what's going on? So today, on uh, Creighton's right, stand on guard. They had this little clip, and the reason I'm going to play this is uh, we think maybe that our government is Carney, our premier or prime minister, is concerned about his country. If you take a look at this boy's history, he's a globalist through and through, just like uh, Justin Trudeau was. Same deal. I mean, they want to get their fingers in on what's happening coming ahead. They think the Great Reset is coming. Um, and you know what? If we don't do something, it's going to come. So we need to wake up as to what's going on. And if you don't believe that Carney is a globalist, I want to play this little clip for you right here. And this just came out this morning. Carney had a meeting with Mr. Ping Ping from China, and sitting beside him is Scott Moe from Premier Saskatchewan. I want you to listen closely to what Carney is saying, and then Scott Moe's reaction, just right directly after he says it. And I wonder what Scott's going to have to say when he comes back. Anyways, here we go. So, uh, out of the mouth of angels, or I shouldn't say angels, Carney's mouth. He's in favor of the New World Order. That's where he's going. That's what he wants to do. I mean, people in the West need to wake up. Okay. This boy is not for Canada, and he's definitely not for Alberta. I mean, if that pipeline they got going goes through, um, I'll be absolutely amazed because it's all bullshit. Okay. Sorry for my French. Anyways, um, the referendum or the signing for the referendum has come up. Me and my boys went down last Sunday and signed. There was a steady uh, line of people going through. I really hope that the fervor and the enthusiasm that people have shown will continue. Uh, my concern for the vote is we have a lot of newcomers to this country. Now, these people come from places war torn, uh, places that are not doing well, you know. And my first question is, well, you want to come to Canada. Why do you want to come to Canada? And it's like, because it's a good place. Well, that's good. The next question is, well, how did it get like that? You want to know how it got like that? Immigrants who came here, who gave up everything they had to come to this country. My grandfather came here in 1903, landed in New York, spent some time down east, came to Saskatchewan. At the time, they were building the Parliament buildings. And the reason I'm saying this is the attitude that immigrants should have. You're coming to a new place, you need to put your back into it, okay? My father came, they were building the Parliament buildings, they volunteered to work. And I don't know if it was 3, 4, 6 months, I'm not sure. But he volunteered his time, they fed them, and they gave him a place to sleep. And his name, I don't know how long they had to work there, but his name is in the Parliament buildings, going the spiral staircase going up to the top. There's a list of names on the wall all the way going up, right? My grandfather's name's on there. So that's the attitude of the people we need to have come to this country, not, the ones, and it's our own fault. We give them money, we give them, why do we have them here when we don't have work for them? Why? It's just stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all. It's like there's no logic to what they're doing. I mean, he's a globalist. Now look at Europe and England specifically. Okay, what's happening there? They have a big influx of immigrants over a great period of time. They're taking over the country. That's the playbook for the globalists. And then they trash the economy. In Europe, look what they're doing to the farmers in Europe. That's going to happen here next. Watch. It's not, it's a globalist. That's what they want. They want to take control. They want to, your freedom of speech is going to be gone. Look at what they just did in Parliament here. Introduced a bill for monitoring. It's what, the Harms Act or whatever, or bill, so that you take harmful speech off the internet. It's not. I mean, they called it, what do they call the protection thing act? So like they're not protecting free speech. They're protecting people attacking one another. And anybody who talks and is violent or gets, sends people towards violent activity in any kind, that's bad. But to just speak your mind, like I'm doing here, you can't stop that. Your democracy is done. And you're going to lose if you don't have freedom of speech. You're going to lose everything else. Freedom of where you can go, freedom of religion, freedom of association. All these good things we enjoy in this country. So back to Carney. This boy, I'm just looking at his picture here. He is. Hold on. There we go. Now, compared to Trudeau's a buffoon. Okay, this guy's like a snake. Okay, because he doesn't say anything. He's very quiet, very calculated. His words are measured, right? He's slick. Okay, watch what he does. Okay, now they said they want to do the pipeline. My experience in life is this: I don't care what a man comes out of his mouth because people lie all the time, especially politicians. Now, what he does, okay? Now, if this thing goes through, I'll be totally amazed. But it's going to do is they're going to drag it out. They're going to have arguments with the indigenous. They're going to argue with BC, all this stuff, okay? It's going to be maybe in 5 years or 3 years or whatever, it'll start to get built. It needs to get built now. Look what's happening in Venezuela, right? That's a power play by Trump. He knows he's got this boy. Trump is like a bull in a china shop. The thing is, you got to stand up to him. You can't let him, like, I hope this happens. I hope that we can attain our sovereignty and we can develop new markets for all our stuff. So we don't need the states. So we can go and we can say, thank you, Mr. Trump, for putting all those embargoes and tariffs on us. So it forced us to go elsewhere, and we're better off for it. It's going to be hard for sure, but in the long run, I mean, people who seek the easy road, that's exactly what it is, just the easy road. You're not gonna. What are your grandchildren going to say? You know, well, Grandpa, you had a chance to stop it. What did you do? Right? Well, Grandpa's doing something. So, anyways, just to continue on this vein, that the forefathers of our country saw fit to put into our Constitution um, that a province could separate legally. Okay, and as I was saying, our forefathers saw fit to put in our Constitution or Charter of Rights that if any province was separate, hold a referendum and they can do it legally. I mean, so why did they do that? Why? Because they knew that the country is so vast that there's going to be, in the beginning, I mean, the West was what? I mean, an outpost, right? All the stuff is down east. And then now we move along. We have an opportunity now to prosper. The East, they take transfer payments, everything goes back east, and then they give it to people who don't deserve it. I mean, they give it to Quebec. Okay, let's just face it, right? And my thing is, Quebec is sitting on oil and gas of their own. Like, why don't they pump their own out of the ground, right? I know the part of the how. Okay, to Westerners it goes like this: there's the West, and then there's Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. To us, that's like the Far East, and then Toronto, Ottawa. To us, that is like the Middle East. So, anyways, so our forefathers saw fit to put that in our Constitution. They had foresight. They knew that it was going to come to this. I mean, look at the United States. I mean, to me, Alberta separating is natural progression. Why is it natural progression? Because the United States was a colony of England. And then what happened? They taxed the Americans to an unfair degree. And what happened? Rebellion, and the United States was born. Doesn't that sound familiar? Like what's happening here? Like Carney comes up with this, so what is it, 73 or $78 billion over budget, and then you don't have enough common sense to think, well, we need to generate some income. Like, where might that come from? Like, it just behooves me. Like, I can't understand. It just doesn't make any sense unless you're a globalist. And the play is what? To break the country. They want that great economic reset. Okay. They know, okay, here's another reason too, that the power in Canada is money's power. Okay. And the big money, the generational wealth, the big families, the big money is all down east. And what happens if Alberta starts pumping oil out of the ground? Okay, in 10 years, what's going to happen? There's going to be people in Alberta, the power block is going to shift in this country and it's going to come out here because they're going downhill. Okay, the new money is here. So what they don't want that. They don't want to lose power, and they'll do anything and everything to stop that from happening. Alberta needs to become sovereign. The West, you know, the Scott Moe, like this China meeting. What's like? I can hardly wait till he gets back, and I'd like to be in to sit in a room where he explains to his compadres there what actually happened there. and his reaction to New World Order, right? So, and another thing, our prime minister is supposed to be for Canada, right? I mean, you swear an allegiance, right, to uphold the Constitution, etc. I wonder if we could prove in a court of law his real motives for what he's doing. What is he really inside his brain? What is his goal? Because it's not what he says. Again, it's not what he says. It's what he does. One of the first things he did is bring King Charles over here. It's like, what do we have to do with him? Maybe the East wants to have something to do with him. We don't. At least I don't pledge any allegiance to him. Anyways, continuing on here. The referendum is out there to be signed. People, I encourage you all to go and sign. Um, to anybody who's a newcomer to this country, who's watching this or sees this, that you come from a country that was probably not doing very well. That's why you wanted to come to Canada. Now, as I said before, Canadian was built, and it is the way it is because of the people who've gone before us and the work that they've put in. Right now, it's not that we don't want you here. Okay, don't get what we don't want is a riffraff. What we don't want is criminals and people who take advantage of the system. You want to come here and be a Canadian? You're most welcome, right? But I mean, in my mind, people who break the law and are charged with criminal offense, it should be one and done. You're out of here, bud. I'm sorry. You know. Anyways, um, to those people who are on the fence, what about the pioneering spirit? Okay, of those people who came here at the turn of the century and way before then too. They left everything, right? And they were going to put their backs into it and they were going to make it work. And that's what I have to say about the Alberta separation. We'll make it work. We have enough natural resources and just adding a little bit of common sense to what we're doing. I mean, Danielle Smith, my hat goes off to her. She's doing a lot and she's walking a tightrope. She's got elections coming up, right? Um, I know by her actions what where her heart is, and her heart is for Alberta. And Alberta sovereignty. If it takes that, if the East is not gonna brain up and get in a ball game here, we're not a colony. If you think we're here just to serve you, you're badly mistaken because it's going to turn. Okay, if it's not going to turn now, it will soon. Okay, because the Western people have had enough. Okay, Canadians are like warm milk. Okay, well, it's boiling now, boys. Um, the Canadian people are very mild mannered, very polite. Okay, um, but the thing is, once you get to that tipping point, you don't want to be around. Okay, because I don't know, some of the Canadian endeavors during the Second World War, especially on D-Day, Juno Beach, the Americans got their asses whooped. Canadians fought right through it. They were the furthest ones inland by the end of the day. I mean, it's all kinds. World War One, Vimy Ridge. I mean, there are different accounts through the whole uh, World War Two. And the Germans, the ones they didn't want to fight, were the Canadians. Right? Why? Because they're gonna get shit done, boys. Get the fuck out of the road. So in all of this, um, I'm just the people who are on the fence, who are a little iffy about, you know, taking a chance and Alberta going for sovereignty. That what are you going to tell your grandchildren? Hey, Grandchildren are going to grow up and say, "Oh, Grandpa, how come you didn't go for that?" Like, and then what? You want your kids to end up speaking Chinese or Russian? Because don't think it can't happen, people. Okay, United States is in decline. I don't know how long it'll take to go, but I mean, history repeats itself. And if you do any research on that, they're in the cycle, they're in the downside. Okay, so, and what about us? So, what are we just gonna go with them down the hill? We don't need to. Okay, we don't have to be there. We can do our own stuff. Okay, we have enough natural resources. What we need is capital investment. We have the right politicians in play, Daniel Smith. Okay, but we need to stand up and do the right thing, people. So, all you people who are iffy, calling on you to do some research, first of all, okay, as to what it would really be. And then once you've done your research, then you can make your logical choice, okay, or according to your logic, to either seek Alberta sovereignty or stay where you're at. If you like the way things are now, keep on going because you're going to get more of the same. Okay, if not worse. Like I said, it's a globalist agenda. Anyways, so that's enough for today. Um, Rants with Randy. Thank you very much for your time.